Did you know that there are only 3 simple movements that can completely transform your balance, even if you've spent years feeling unsteady when walking or afraid of tripping? Many people believe that losing firmness in their steps is an inevitable consequence of aging, but that's not true. The human body is incredibly adaptable and can regain strength, stability, and confidence at any age, as long as it receives the right stimulation. And here's a special detail. At the end of this content, you'll discover an extra, quick, and surprising movement that can make your walking more stable from the very first day you start practicing it. As we age, our body goes through natural changes. One of them is the gradual loss of muscle mass, a process known as sarcopenia, which begins around age 50 and accelerates after 60. This loss directly affects strength, balance, and mobility. Additionally, many people become more sedentary over time, which further weakens the stabilizing muscles, slows reflexes, and compromises coordination. The result is a significant increase in the risk of falls, stumbles, and insecurity when performing simple tasks like climbing stairs or getting up from a chair. What many people don't realize is that falls in older age are not just a temporary scare. They can lead to serious consequences, such as hip fractures, knee injuries, chronic pain, and, in many cases, even loss of independence. That's why taking care of balance is not just about prevention, but also about quality of life. When you strengthen your body and improve your stability, you're not just avoiding accidents. You're ensuring freedom, confidence, and the energy to stay active. And here's the most important point. Regaining balance and strength doesn't require expensive equipment or complicated gym workouts. Everything can be done at home in just a few minutes a day, safely and with surprising results. All you need is to follow a simple exercise program that activates the right muscles, the ones most affected by aging. That's exactly what you're going to learn now. The first movement is sitting and standing, also known as sit to stand. It seems simple, but it's one of the most powerful exercises for regaining strength in the legs and glutes. Muscles essential for walking, maintaining an upright posture, and standing up easily. Think about how many times a day you need to get up from a chair, rise from the sofa, or get out of bed. This movement is part of everyone's daily routine, but when the muscles are weak, it becomes difficult, tiring, and even dangerous. That's why training this movement is so transformative. To begin, sit on the edge of a sturdy chair, preferably without armrests, keeping your feet parallel and aligned with hip width. Firmly plant your heels on the floor, lean your torso slightly forward as if to gain momentum, and push against the floor with your feet until you stand up fully. Once standing, hold an upright posture for a few seconds, keeping your core engaged and your shoulders relaxed. Then slowly return to the seated position, controlling the descent without dropping back into the chair. The key to this exercise lies in control. Many people use their arms to assist, swing their shoulders, or rest their hands on their legs. But ideally, your legs should do all the work. This ensures that your quadriceps and glutes are fully activated, rebuilding strength where it's most needed. If you find it difficult at first, you may lightly support yourself, but gradually remove that support until you can perform the movement using only your legs. An important detail is the speed. For beginners, it's best to go up and down at a comfortable pace, focusing on control. Over time, you can vary it. Stand up more quickly, pushing the floor with energy, and lower yourself slowly, as if in slow motion. This variation develops both strength and power at the same time, which helps not only with getting up easily, but also with reacting quickly in unexpected situations, such as tripping or needing to take a sudden step to prevent a fall. The ideal is to perform 10 to 12 repetitions, 2 or 3 times a day. There's no need to overdo it or push yourself to the point of pain. The most important thing is consistency. When practiced daily, this exercise produces visible results within a few weeks. People who previously needed to use their hands to get up from a chair begin to do it naturally. The sense of autonomy increases, and confidence in the body returns. By practicing the sit-to-stand movement, you're not just strengthening your muscles. You're teaching your body to efficiently perform one of the most important movements for daily life. Each repetition is like a rehearsal for real-life situations, such as getting out of bed in the morning or rising from the couch to answer the door. That's why this exercise is considered one of the pillars of independence in old age. After understanding how the simple act of sitting and standing can transform your strength and independence, it's time to learn the second essential movement: lateral leg raises. This exercise works an area often forgotten in workouts, but one that's absolutely vital for balance: the muscles that stabilize the hips, especially the gluteus medius. The gluteus medius is a relatively small muscle located on the side of the hip, but it plays a huge role in body stability. It acts like an emergency brake, preventing you from swaying side to side while walking. Imagine this. Every time you take a step, one leg supports your entire body weight while the other moves. What keeps your hip from dropping or swaying is exactly the gluteus medius. When this muscle is weak, each step becomes less secure, increasing the risk of tripping and imbalance, especially on uneven surfaces. Unfortunately, this muscle is one of the ones that loses strength the most with age, precisely because we spend so much time sitting. When we spend hours in a chair, the gluteus medius is barely used. Over the years, it becomes dormant, and that's when the problems start. Shaky steps, unstable hips, lower back pain, and even overloaded knees. That's why activating it with lateral leg raises is one of the best decisions you can make to regain walking security. The exercise is simple and can be done at home. Stand behind a sturdy chair or a counter for stability. Stand upright, with your body straight, core slightly engaged and feet parallel. Shift your weight onto one leg and, keeping your torso still, lift the other leg to the side slowly and in a controlled manner. The movement should be smooth, without swaying the body or tilting the torso. Hold for a second at the highest point and then lower slowly, without letting the leg drop. Ideally, you should perform 10 to 15 repetitions on each side, 3 times a day. At first, you may feel a burning sensation in your hip after a few reps. This is completely normal and means the muscle is being activated correctly. Over time, that feeling fades and is replaced by new strength, which you'll notice in your daily life as your walking becomes firmer and more stable. But be careful. There are some common mistakes you should avoid. The first is leaning your torso to the opposite side while lifting your leg. This trick makes the movement easier, but reduces the work of the muscle we want to strengthen. The second mistake is lifting the leg too quickly, without control. This may seem easier, but it's the slow and controlled movement that deeply activates the stabilizing muscles. The third mistake is using an unstable surface for support. Always choose a sturdy chair or countertop to avoid risks. In addition to improving balance, lateral leg raises also help in other areas. For example, they strengthen the hips, which reduces lower back pain, since unstable hips force the spine to compensate. They also protect the knees, because when the hips are weak, the knees end up receiving improper loads, which can cause pain and inflammation. Many people even report improved posture after including this exercise in their routine. So, set aside a few minutes of your day for this movement. It may seem small, but the impact is huge. Combined with the sit-to-stand exercise, lateral leg raises already create a solid foundation for regaining stability, preventing falls, and improving your quality of life. Now let's move on to the third exercise, which perfectly complements the previous two. It works on coordination, core stability, and even improves walking form, bringing a sense of confidence that many people thought they had lost forever. This will be the movement that completes the cycle of strength and balance, creating a simple yet extremely effective program that can transform your routine. We've reached the third essential movement for regaining and maintaining balance after age 60, heel-to-toe walking, also known as walking in a straight line. This exercise is powerful because it combines 3 essential elements for those who want to live with safety and confidence: strength, coordination, and mental focus. It strengthens the core muscles, which are responsible for keeping the torso stable, and trains the body to take more stable and coordinated steps, which directly improves the quality of your daily walk. The movement is simple, but requires attention and concentration. Imagine there's a straight line on the floor, like a tightrope. The task is to walk along that imaginary line. To do this, place the heel of one foot directly against the toes of the other foot, then take a step forward, repeating the same pattern. Your arms should be extended out to the sides like wings to help with balance. Your eyes should always look forward, never at your feet. This detail is important because looking down can throw off your posture and even increase insecurity. Ideally, perform 10 to 15 steps this way, then rest and repeat the process 2 or 3 times. At first, it may feel challenging to stay on the straight line, but with practice, your body will adapt. If you feel too unsteady, you can do the exercise near a wall or handrail for support in case you lose your balance. This brings more confidence, especially in the first attempts. But why is this exercise so effective? Because it trains what's called proprioception, the body's ability to sense position and movement in space. Proprioception is what allows you to walk without constantly looking at your feet, helps maintain balance on uneven terrain, and lets you quickly correct a stumble. As we age, this ability tends to decline, but it can be trained and recovered. Heel-to-toe walking is one of the best ways to activate this system. Another key point is core strengthening. Each straight-line step requires your abdominal and lower back muscles to work together to keep your torso aligned. This strengthening not only improves balance, but also protects the spine, reduces lower back pain, and improves everyday posture. With regular practice, you'll notice it becomes easier to stay upright, with your shoulders open and your head held high. An interesting detail about this exercise is its positive impact on the mind. Unlike more automatic movements, heel-to-toe walking requires focus and concentration. You need to think about each step, align your body, and stay mindful of the movement. This cognitive stimulation is extremely valuable as it keeps the brain active and may even help prevent age-related cognitive decline. It's like training both your body and your mind at the same time. There are several ways to vary the exercise to make it more challenging or better suited to your level. The first variation is walking backward. This requires even more coordination and activates different muscles, creating a new stimulus for the body. Another variation is walking sideways, keeping one foot in front of the other but moving to the side. This option strengthens the hip stabilizing muscles even more and works as a perfect complement to the lateral leg raises we discussed earlier. A more advanced variation is performing the exercise while holding a light object in your hands, such as a water bottle or even a book. This requires greater body control because the weight in your hands shifts your balance. Another option is to practice on different surfaces, like a thicker rug or even the grass in your backyard. These uneven terrains make the exercise more challenging and bring the training closer to real-life situations you encounter when walking outside. It's also important to highlight common mistakes. The first is not aligning the feet correctly, leaving space between the heel and the toes of the other foot. This detail is what makes the exercise effective, so it's worth paying attention to. The second mistake is constantly looking down. Besides harming your posture, it signals insecurity. Trust your body and keep your eyes facing forward. The third mistake is doing the movement too fast. Rushing reduces the benefits. The ideal is to walk slowly, with controlled steps, feeling your body adjust with each move. Beyond balance, this exercise brings other important benefits. It helps improve fine motor coordination, which allows for more precise movements, such as stepping onto a narrow step or walking through a tight space. It also boosts mental confidence, as each completed practice without losing balance makes the person feel more capable of walking better in daily life. This reduces the fear of falling, which is a very common psychological factor among older adults and often limits movement even more. Another advantage is that it can be easily integrated into your routine. You can practice heel-to-toe walking in the hallway of your home, on the porch, or even in a small space in the living room. The important thing is consistency. 3 to 5 minutes a day is enough to bring consistent results. With the 3 exercises, sit to stand, lateral leg raises, and heel-to-toe walking, you already have a complete program to regain balance and strength at any age. But to complement it even further, there's an extra movement that works as a simple, quick, and extremely effective bonus. It targets an area that is almost always neglected but can make a big difference in how you walk. Now that you're familiar with the three main exercises to restore balance and stability, it's time to talk about an extra movement that can boost your results even more. Toe raises. This exercise is simple, quick to do, and can be practiced anywhere. But the benefits it brings to your stability are huge. Many people don't realize it, but over the years, the ankles lose mobility and strength. This happens because we use this joint less and less through its full range of motion. We walk less, spend more time sitting, and rarely stimulate the muscles that support this area. The result is a shuffling step, feet that no longer lift properly off the ground, and a significantly higher risk of tripping. This is where the importance of toe raises comes in. This exercise mainly strengthens the anterior tibialis muscle, located at the front of the leg just above the ankle. This muscle is responsible for lifting the toes with each step, allowing the foot to avoid dragging on the ground. When it's weak, your gait becomes unstable and slow, and simple obstacles like a door threshold or a small step can turn into major threats. Doing toe raises is easy. Stand with your feet parallel and firmly planted on the floor. Shift your weight onto your heels and slowly lift your toes, holding them up for 2 to 3 seconds before lowering them back to the floor. The movement should be controlled without rushing, and you should feel the front of your leg working. Repeat 12 to 15 times for 2 or 3 sets per day. If you feel unsteady performing the movement standing up, hold on to a chair or lean against a wall for extra stability. For those who are just starting or have foot pain, there's the option to do the exercise while seated. Simply keep your feet firmly on the ground, slowly lift your toes, then return to the starting position. This variation still activates the anterior tibialis and can serve as a transitional version until you gain the confidence to practice standing up. Another advantage is that it works well as a warm-up for the other exercises. Before practicing sit-to-stand or heel-to-toe walking, you can start by activating your muscles with toe raises. This helps prepare the ankles, improves circulation, and reduces the risk of discomfort during more complex movements. With this bonus exercise, you complete a powerful set of practices that work nearly every aspect of balance. Strength in the major leg muscles, stability in the hips, core coordination, and now, firmness in the ankles and feet. It's like building a house. First, you reinforce the foundation, then strengthen the walls, and finally ensure the floor is solid and secure. Toe raises represent that solid ground, essential for stable walking. From now on, you have in your hands a simple yet extremely effective routine that can transform your life in just a few weeks. The combination of these 4 movements not only strengthens the body, but also restores confidence, eliminates the fear of falling, and opens the door to a more active and independent life. Now that you've learned each exercise in detail, it's time to think about how to organize this practice into your daily routine. The good news is that you don't need to spend hours training or buy expensive equipment. Just a few minutes a day, used wisely, can produce consistent results. Another important gain is the psychological impact. Many people over the age of 60 carry a constant fear of falling, and that fear alone already limits their freedom of movement. This fear causes people to avoid leaving home, reduce outings, or even turn down social invitations. With regular practice of these exercises, the body becomes more stable, and, little by little, that fear begins to fade. The result is more freedom, more independence, and a better quality of life. There's also a cognitive benefit. These movements require focus and attention, which stimulates the brain to work actively. Every time you focus on aligning your body, controlling your step, or maintaining your posture, you are also training your mind. Studies show that activities combining physical movement with mental focus help keep cognitive functions sharp, which is essential for healthy aging. And we can't forget the social impact. Many people report that, after regaining balance and confidence, they return to walking in the park, visiting friends, dancing at parties, or simply enjoying family moments more fully. This return to an active life strengthens social bonds and improves mood, creating a positive cycle of health and well-being. Now it's your turn to put this into practice. Set aside a few minutes of your day, choose a safe space in your home, and start with the first exercise. Progress little by little, respecting your own pace. In just a few weeks, you'll feel the difference in your daily movements, from getting up from a chair to walking down the street with more confidence. If this content made sense to you, share it with someone you love who also needs to regain balance and strength. Encourage that person to practice with you. Together, you can transform your routines and gain much more quality of life. Don't put it off. Your body is ready to respond to the right stimulus at any age. Start today. Take the first step and see how life can be lighter, stronger, and much safer. You deserve to age with independence, confidence, and joy. So stand up, practice, and discover how 3 simple movements plus 1 powerful bonus can change everything.